you saw how Wisconsin played against Michigan, you've got to be very concerned. Very concerned because Michigan is coming up on your schedule, and it really is going to be very tough to beat Michigan. Michigan getting Rutgers on Saturday, and then Iowa for their homecoming. So 2 consecutive home games for Michigan. And then they get those 2 games at Penn State and then home against Notre Dame. Michigan, not an easy schedule this year at all. But losing to Wisconsin 35-14 is going to make them really want their next stretch of games. The end of September against Rutgers. I mean, if I'm Rutgers, I don't even know if I want to show up to this game. But of course, we look at this from the standpoint that Michigan is just one of many games that Iowa has on their schedule coming up. We also have Iowa also gets Penn State at home the following week. So back-to-back weeks against tough opponents. I mean, Michigan's gonna be tough. If you think that they're gonna show up how they did against Wisconsin, that's incorrect, because Michigan's going to play a lot better. I mean, will they have a quarterback by then? Maybe, maybe not. But they're gonna be ready for Iowa when Iowa comes to town because they see how Iowa's playing. Potentially, but I mean, I could be wrong. Iowa, though, does have to play at Wisconsin in, I think, November, if I'm not mistaken here. That should be this, I think it's their 3rd or 4th to last game. It's Saturday, November 9th in Madison, coming off of a bye week. I think Wisconsin's also coming off a bye week, so both teams can get 2 weeks to prepare for one another. That is going to be a showdown, potentially, for the Big Ten West. Potentially. Iowa, if they lose one game before that, they're not going to be out of it. If potentially Wisconsin loses one game, they're not going to be out of it. But it's those big division games that really get you. They really. Those interdivision games, like especially if Iowa goes to Northwestern and loses, that's a big loss. And especially against the competitors where it's a head-to-head tiebreaker at the top. I mean, if Iowa loses to Wisconsin, they probably won't win the division. Assuming Wisconsin plays how they are. I mean, we look at the month of October for Iowa. It's a key month in their season here. At Michigan, Penn State at home, Purdue at home, at Northwestern. So if they enter the game against Wisconsin, how they enter that game is going to be very key to how their season is going to play out. They enter 8-0. I mean, they're going to have the confidence that to go into Camp Randall to play the game of their lives. And I'm assuming that's going to be an early start time because Big Ten does not like the night games in November because it's cold. It's also very dark. Dark from kickoff. Dark maybe during tailgates potentially. But probably not. I mean, there also is potential for snow. And snow plus night games. Night games in the snow is just you want to start it early so then potentially if there's weather you can take a delay and not be in a big trouble having to play games at like midnight. Which obviously Big Ten doesn't want to do. So that we should not look ahead. the next 2 games. So we know. Michigan's got them lined up for homecoming. Northwestern's also got Iowa lined up for homecoming. And then Iowa has Purdue lined up for their homecoming. And then, of course, the end of the season showdown with Nebraska is not going to be easy either. But they've got games that you think you can mark as a win. You think you can mark Illinois as a win. You think you can mark Middle Tennessee as a win. But outside of those 2 games played at Kinnick Stadium, every game really is Iowa's. There's a few that are Iowa's to lose, and then there's a few, especially these road games at Michigan, at Wisconsin, at Nebraska, and quite frankly even at Northwestern. Those are games that there's going to be a lot of doubt, because we saw Iowa play at Iowa State. They did not look. They looked good they had flashes of goodness, but it's also good to get that out of the way, to get into the rhythm, and to have this bye week here, still with one more easy game before they enter the heart of Big Ten play. I mean, it's good to have one Big Ten game under your belt, a game that you played almost flawlessly, I'd say, against Rutgers. And then now this is the week where you polish stuff, you make sure that you try not to get injuries either. I mean, you don't want injuries heading into the 2 big games of your season against Big Ten East play. Well, and a note that we're going to tell you is the first 3 Big Ten games for Iowa are against Big Ten East teams. The last 6 games of their season are against Big Ten West opponents, with a bye week after, in there as well on November 2nd. So it's really going to the last 6 games are going to really, they're already in the lead for the Big Ten West, tied with Wisconsin, of course, after beating Michigan. But if they win their last 6 games, it's all good. Because if they win their last 6, they're going to be 6-2 at the worst. Or, I mean, 7-2 in Big Ten play, which would mean, I don't know. Let's not think ahead. Let's say that Iowa is going to keep on winning. Hopefully, that's what will happen. For our entire career, I'm Jefferson. So long. Peace on out.